Hi, I'm John Spadaccini with Career Services,
I'm Michael O'Donnell with Mother Truth Project.
and this is day 10, Light of Patriarchs.
Pray for us.
Can you believe it? We got to day 10
Day
in our
10.
33 days of consecration to St. Joseph.
I know. We're still going strong too, so.
How's it going for you?
Good. I'm liking it. Like today, we focused on Joseph being the greatest patriarch in the Bible. I think that's something that really strikes it home. You know, we've said so many times he's the greatest saint, but he's above all the patriarchs. And when you think about Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, you know, they did some pretty great stuff. And then Joseph to be even elevated above them is pretty awesome. And then in our reading for today, Father Calloway goes further to compare the two Josephs. So the Joseph in the Old Testament with the Joseph in the New Testament. And I think the Old Testament does such a great job of foreshadowing spiritual realities with physical realities. So in here we have this example of Joseph in the Joseph in the story where he gets the coat and his brothers sell him into slavery, and he goes to Egypt, and Egypt was considered the breadbasket of the world then. So he's gathering and protecting the grain during the times of great abundance, and then the world goes on a famine, and his brothers come to him, and he distributes that bread to them and satisfies their hunger. Now, fast forward thousands of years, we got Joseph, the father of Jesus. He flees into Egypt to protect the bread of life from King Herod, and then now, and I think this portrays our world here and now, where we're struggling and starving with our own sins, and we're desiring relief from that suffering. That's where we can go and receive the bread of life. And it's because of Joseph, because of his protection of the bread of life at its infancy stage, that we're able to enjoy that bread of life now. So I really enjoy that, and something always to contemplate when we get to receive communion.
So when I did the reading for day 10, I have a totally different perspective on it.
Yeah.
So, it's talking about, Joseph as being the greatest of all fathers.
Right.
And Joseph being our spiritual father.
Mm-hmm.
And, Joseph brought the light into this world through Jesus Christ, being the earthly father to Jesus Christ. They were also talking about darkness. And it talked a little bit about Satan, how Satan lives in perpetual darkness.
Yeah.
And that Satan fears St. Joseph because St. Joseph reflects the light of Jesus Christ. And, and St. Joseph is the greatest father.
Right.
And when I was thinking about darkness, I was thinking about St. John of the Cross and the dark night of the soul, and Mother Teresa, how she lived in darkness for most of her earthly existence through this dark night of the soul. And so I'm thinking about the world today that we're in, with this pandemic of COVID-19. And like overnight, the economy stopped. We were asked to stay in our homes to prevent the spread of this awful disease. And we're like going through our own dark night.
Right.
It's like lots of questions and not a lot of answers. And I don't want to scare anybody out there, but the world that we knew a couple of weeks ago, it's not going to be the same world when we come to the other side of this pandemic. The President Trump's talked about, there's a lightness.
Yeah.
Well, there is a lightness at the end of a very dark tunnel, but it might not be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And as believers, we have to stick together to get through this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so happy that we're doing the consecration of St. Joseph during this time.
Right.
And it just amazes me that you had said that this book came out in January.
Right.
Who would have known in January
Right.
that we're going to go through this dark time in our country and dark time in the world where people are getting sick and people are dying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very dark.
Absolutely.
So I look to St. Joseph through Christ for that light. And, right now, a lot of us can't receive Eucharist, which provides us life. We can get a spiritual communion. We can attend Mass online, and was fortunate about the Diocese of Venice is they're allowing, priests to distribute communion after you attend Mass online.
Mm-hmm.
And, I find that, life in receiving that communion. And, and I was thinking, if God didn't ask Saint Joseph to be the earthly father of Jesus, we wouldn't have communion.
Mm-hmm.
And it just touches me.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So that was my takeaway from day 10.
That's beautiful. All right. Well, we hope you enjoy us. Keep reading, and we'll see you again soon.
See you tomorrow.